we dive deep into the twisted secrets of one of the most haunted places in the world, the Winchester Mystery House, a house built in desperation, where the walls whisper, the floors tremble, and the very air is thick with a chilling presence, a mansion designed to appease vengeful spirits. But instead, it became a prison for the living and the dead. Are you ready to uncover the terrifying truth? Because once you step inside, there's no turning back. The Winchester Mystery House, an architectural enigma and one of the most unsettling locations in the world, stands as a dark testament to one woman's obsession and a horrifying legacy that continues to haunt it to this day. Nestled in San Jose, California, this sprawling mansion has earned its place in the annals of horror lore, not for its beauty or historical significance, but for the eerie paranormal events that have surrounded it since its inception. From the moment Sarah Winchester began construction, strange and inexplicable occurrences began to plague the house, as if the very act of building was a desperate, cursed endeavor. The story begins in the late 1800s, a time of unspeakable loss for Sarah Winchester. She was left a widow at the age of 42 after her husband, William Wirt Winchester, the inventor of the famous rifle that bore his name, passed away from tuberculosis. But this was not the only tragedy that struck Sarah. Her only child, Annie, died at just 6 weeks old, leaving Sarah devastated and struggling with grief and isolation. Little did she know, this deep sorrow would lead her to seek out an unconventional form of comfort, one that would haunt her and her house forever. Seeking solace, Sarah turned to a spiritualist medium, a psychic who claimed to communicate with the dead. The medium's message was both cryptic and chilling. According to the medium, Sarah's family was cursed by the restless spirits of those who had fallen victim to the Winchester rifle. The spirits, vengeful and angry, had been killed by the very weapon her husband had invented. The medium warned that Sarah's family would be haunted by these spirits for as long as they lived, unless she took drastic action. She must appease the restless souls. The only way to do this, the medium allegedly told Sarah, was to build a house that would never be completed, a house so vast and convoluted that the spirits could never escape. Overcome by grief and a desperate need to rid herself of the tormenting spirits, Sarah moved to San Jose, where she purchased a small farmhouse. What followed would become an architectural monstrosity, a sprawling mansion that would eventually include 160 rooms, 40 staircases, 47 fireplaces, and miles of corridors. Construction began in 1884, and for the next 30 years it never ceased. Crews worked day and night, adding wing after wing, room after room, with no clear pattern or design in sight. Walls were built with no purpose. Staircases led to nowhere, and doors opened into solid walls. But the strangest part was the fact that Sarah Winchester herself seemed to guide the construction, not with blueprints or plans, but with whispers from the other side. Each new design was supposedly inspired by the spirit's wishes, but as the years went by, the house became more and more bizarre, its very structure defying logic and reason. For Sarah, this wasn't just about appeasing the dead. It was an obsession, a relentless quest to stave off the horrors that haunted her. And it worked, for a time. But what she did not know was that her attempts to appease the spirits only led to darker and more sinister events. It was as though her efforts to honor the dead opened a gateway to something much more malevolent. Visitors and workers who came to the house spoke of unsettling experiences, cold spots, strange sounds, and unexplainable feelings of being watched. As the house grew, so did the tales of paranormal activity. The most famous of these stories centers around the door to nowhere, a small wooden door that opens to a sheer drop, with no staircase to follow. Sarah Winchester herself believed that opening doors for the spirits to walk through would allow them to escape. But this particular door, with no place to go, seemed to symbolize the futility of her efforts. It was as though no matter how many doors she opened, no matter how many staircases she built, the spirits would never leave. They remained trapped in the house, and their presence was palpable, growing stronger with every addition to the mansion. One of the most eerie features of the Winchester Mystery House is the way it defies traditional architectural rules. Staircases spiral up into the ceiling, seemingly leading nowhere. Some stairs drop abruptly, without any explanation. The infamous staircase that rises to a high ceiling without a door in sight is one such oddity. Visitors have often spoken of feeling dizzy and disoriented as they wander through the house's disjointed corridors. It's as though the very design of the house is a labyrinth meant to trap not only the spirits of the dead, but the living as well. But the house's disorienting architecture is just the beginning of the mystery. Those who have dared to spend the night in the house report strange, supernatural occurrences. Many claim to have heard the disembodied sounds of footsteps echoing down empty hallways. Some have felt sudden, cold breezes that seem to come from nowhere, while others have seen shadowy figures moving quickly through the corner of their eyes. Perhaps most unsettling are the strange noises that emanate from the walls. Whispered voices, faint but unmistakable, as if the house itself is alive, whispering its secrets. It wasn't just guests who felt the unsettling presence of the spirits. The workers who labored on the construction of the house were often so terrified by the strange happenings that they abandoned their posts, refusing to return. Some claimed to have heard eerie knocks from within the walls, while others saw objects move on their own. Even more disturbing were the reports of ghostly apparitions, figures dressed in old-fashioned clothing, seen in the shadows of the house, disappearing the moment someone tried to approach them. A popular theory is that these apparitions were the spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifle, forever trapped within the walls of the house Sarah had built to keep them at bay. Perhaps the most chilling ghost story of all is the one surrounding the spirit of Sarah Winchester herself. Many visitors claim to have seen her ghostly figure in the house, walking through the halls dressed in black, her face a portrait of sorrow. Some have reported seeing her gazing out the window, as if waiting for something. But what was she waiting for? Was she still trying to communicate with the spirits that tormented her? Or was she too trapped in the maze she had created? As the years passed, and Sarah Winchester's life came to an end in 1922, the house continued to stand, a bizarre monument to her madness and the ghosts she sought to appease. Today, the Winchester Mystery House is one of the most haunted locations in America, attracting thousands of visitors each year who seek to uncover the secrets of the house and its paranormal inhabitants. Many who tour the house report a strange sense of unease, as though the spirits of the dead still roam the halls, forever entwined with the legacy of Sarah Winchester's obsession. The house has become a place where the past and present seem to collide, where the restless spirits of the dead may still roam, searching for peace that may never come. It is a house built on fear, grief, and desperation, and it continues to be a reminder of the danger of trying to appease the dead. Because in the Winchester Mystery House, it's not just the architecture that's strange, it's the presence of something far darker, something that never left, no matter how many doors Sarah opened. Thank you for joining me on this terrifying journey through the twisted halls of the Winchester Mystery House. I hope you're feeling the chills down your spine, because this place is just one of many haunted locations we'll be exploring. If you dare to venture further into the unknown, make sure to subscribe to HauntScape, hit that like button, and share this with anyone who's brave enough to face the darkness with us. Stay tuned, and remember, the spirits are always watching. Until next time, stay haunted.